My name is Tyler, and I'm an applications engineer here at United Electronic Industries. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the various I/O chassis options available in the UEI product line. Before we jump into form factors, I want to mention that these chassis can be used in many ways. Number one, they can be slaved to your host PC via Ethernet. 2, they can run standalone based on your Linux or VxWorks application. 3, the cubes can be used as data loggers that require no programming whatsoever. 4, we can support Simulink applications in both standalone and slave mode. And 5, we also support Modbus TCP connectivity. All of these include support for our extremely wide assortment of I/O boards, which now numbers more than 50. Now that we've touched on the potential use scenarios of the UEI product line, let's dive into the chassis options. The 4 primary options include the cube in both a 3 and a 6 slot configuration, the 19-inch 3U rack-mountable rectangle in a 6 slot and a 12 slot configuration, the 4 slot 1U flat rack, and the 4 slot mill cube and 12 slot mill rack, both with military-style 38999 connectivity. It is important to note that all these various form factors use the exact same I/O boards. This enables us to offer identical performance across the entire product line. The only difference in the electronics between a cube model board and a rack board is the mechanical orientation of the connector and the bracket required for positioning the board in a rectangle or in a flat rack. When deciding on the proper configuration for your application, there are several considerations. The first thing to consider might be the environmental or mechanical constraints of your application. Will your device need to be operating under laboratory conditions or in a harsher environment? In other words, how rugged does your chassis need to be? While all UEI chassis configurations are rugged in their construction, they range in their shock and vibration ratings from 3G vibration and 50G shock for the rack models to 5G vibration and 100G shock for the mill series cube configuration. Operating temperature ranges are also important. The 100 base T cubes and mill series cubes are rated for -40 degrees C to +85 degrees C operation, and the GIGI cubes and racks are rated for -40 degrees C to +70 degrees C operation. The next consideration is channel density. How many channels of I/O do you need and how much space do you have available in your application? For example, in smaller systems, the cubes or perhaps the flat rack may be the obvious choice. However, in some environments, space may not be as restrictive, and using a less dense but more accessible unit such as the rectangle may be more advantageous. Another consideration to make is the ease and speed of repair and/or reconfiguration. With the front slot loading design of the rack models, they become the clear winner if rapid replacement or reconfiguration is essential to your application. While it is still easy to replace a board in a cube board can take up to 20 minutes to replace, while a rack board can be replaced in under 1 minute. Another consideration is how will you be mounting or installing your system. All of the UEI form factors have their respective mounting options, and they are all rather straightforward. But the deciding factor may be whether or not you are using a standard 19-inch rack. While the rack systems offer several 19-inch mounting options, the smaller cube chassis can be either mounted directly to a flat surface or a DIN rail using the respective accessories. UEI also supplies a DIN-ready rack adapter chassis for our cube. We've covered several things to consider when choosing an appropriate form factor for your application. 1, environmental and mechanical concerns. 2, size limitations. 3, board accessibility. And 4, mounting and installation requirements. It is likely that these are not the only factors to consider for your particular application, but they should give you a good starting point. Our applications engineers are available for additional support as required. In another video, we'll cover deployment and usage options, including PowerDNA, UEI Pack, UEI Logger, UEI Sim, and UEI Modbus. To learn more about leveraging the power and versatility of UEI products in your application, click the link you see here to request your copy of the UEI Application Handbook, or visit info.ueidaq.com/AHB. Thanks for watching. See you next time.